Hello. All right, looks like we're live. Right. Is it the Hangouts link that's not working or something?
I don't know, but there's someone else here. Hi, Jay.
Oh.
We're working on our technical difficulties.
Why? Sounds good. This thing is being bad. Why does the link change? I don't understand. I hate this so badly.
Is it possible to join the new link?
Yeah, you should be able to join the new link. I shared it on Slack. Can you see it?
We have people joining the new link hangout. Or the old link hangout.
Could you tell them to join the new one?
Yes. Did you update it on the doc? Oh.
Just did.
Yeah, they don't seem to work.
Guys, there is a new link. It just got updated in Slack and on the doc, so go join that.
I don't know why. We have time.
There you go.
We have time at the end. Can you add it to the agenda? Thanks.
How are you?
Good. Good.
No. It's some sort of Joey from Friends used to. How you doing?
Actually, YouTube link didn't change, but the Hangouts link changed.
Hi. Hi. Hi, and see if it works.
So it's working? Are you watching on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay, so it seems okay.
Yeah, there's some.
I need more coffee, bro.
Well, here's that.
All right. So I think we only have one. Oh, all right. So I've asked Vinod to run the meeting, but the thing that I put on the agenda is for formatting code, and it seems like people join to listen for that, maybe. So we'll get into that in a bit. I don't know if you want to cover other stuff, like should we go through the? I don't know what else we could go through, but we can jump into the formatting thing right away.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So basically, in conversations with other committers, what we found is that there have been some pain formatting code properly, and all the style comments that are being asked of contributors, and also the burden from committers to remember and teach and explain the style guide, or the formatting part of the style guide has been a burden. And so if you look at, I can share my screen here. All right, so here, so we actually have a, here, I think it's not one thing. If you search for Mesos client format, we have documentation for how to use client format. Um, I introduced client format as a formatting tool for us probably a couple of years ago at this point. And our style guide is emulated as close as possible with client format 3.8. And the .client format file is in our repo. And that should be able to get pretty close to our current style guide with that already. But what we want to do is actually close the gap between the style guide and client format so that we don't actually have to do this manual formatting of code all the time. So this tool is already available. If you wanted to get started automating your formatting today, you can follow this guide to set it up and integrate it into your editor. And it'll allow you to select parts of the text and format it automatically with a sequence of keys or whatever your editor happens to do. Mine happens to integrate with Vim, and I can just select the section of text and hit Control K, and it just formats that section. And it gets you 85% of the way there. There are, yeah.
The client format right now is 5.0.
Client format right now is 5.0, yes.
Yeah, have you checked that your version closed the gap or not?
No. So so yeah. So I have two things. First is we have this already. Second thing is going forward, the effort that I'm announcing is that we're gonna figure out what the new options that are available, because there have been a lot of options that have been introduced to client format since I last looked at it. So what we'll do is figure out what set of options most closely matches what we want. And at some point we'll declare it good enough and we'll format the entire code base with it. But I'm hesitant to do it in one go. I think we would, start out, I'm thinking something along the lines of, we can format Stout, see what comes out of it, see how many parts are like, oh, this is fine, this is also fine. All right, that's good enough, right? Whereas like, oh, this actually like really hinders readability, we'll figure out if there are options available, or if we can maybe just wrap unformatted sections of the code, if that's a viable option for us or not. Because you can, for example, say / client format on and then / client format off to turn it on and off in sections of the code. So I don't have a concrete proposal just yet, but we've made these efforts in the past, and we've made progress, but haven't quite gotten to where we don't have to think about it anymore. And I think we'll make another push with this effort.
So I guess once the effort is done, is the plan to add that as a commit hook or something, so that it automatically gets formatted every time someone commits code and pushes it?
Yeah.
We want to add it as a commit hook, or do we want to?
I don't think it should be a commit hook personally. It should be maybe a hook, but I don't think it should fix it automatically. It should, if it's possible, just point out what's wrong.
Yeah, have a bot or something.
Is that that's what I'd ideally do is have like a CI job on the reviews that pop up and say, here's your formatting problems. And then people can self-select and turn it on, add it to their own commit hooks if they want. Just do it or add it to their own save hooks or whatever it is. But
why don't we want it in the commit hook? I mean, right now we already have a style guide checker in the commit hook.
Yeah,
one point is to not go through the cycle.
checker is good. I agree with checker. It's changing the code that I think is funky.
Okay, because the format actually formats the code, that's why.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want someone just arbitrarily changing my code unless I explicitly ran the script myself.
But what would be the loop like? So you see in the CI that the rebot said it's not good, but you're still going to go and do a client format and submit it.
Well, I mean, even better, like when you have using open review, there's a review script to submit the patch to review, maybe you can run the hook there to make sure give you a local error if the styles not conform to whatever client format dictates.
Can client format do that instead of reformatting it? Can it just print out all the style errors that it found?
I mean, what we could do is run client format and diff it with their version, and then show them the diff. Again, I don't know exactly what the best dev experience will be there. But I want to make strides. Like, for example, like I would be happy if our first step is client format. Like, if I don't have to answer the question of like, oh, mPark, how do I format this thing? I'm like,
Format.
this is what client format tells you. That's fine. That looks fine to me, right? Like, if we can close, if we can actually eliminate the gap between whatever our style guide is and client format says, like that's awesome. And then going forward, we can like make it as people get more experience with it, and the more we trust it, right? Because I think there are some suspicion of like, oh, it might produce completely unreadable code, right? But like as people use it, I think there will be more gained trust, and through experience, we might be fine with just formatting it, on its way into the repo. I don't know, right? But I imagine that's not going to be the true day one. So I want it to be a usable tool first, and then we can expand upon its capabilities and powers. So just
Makes sense.
yeah. So if you have any like strong opinions around like what we should do or what we shouldn't do, like one of the big questions to me is like, so can we just like not have a formatting section or like anything related to formatting in the style guide anymore and just like defer to client format? Or do we still have like a written spec that we want client format to try to like adhere to, right? I don't know yet. Because like it's like a spec by implementation essentially, right? Which is fine to me because it's just
And
format.
that's what Google did, right? They have a Google style published, but they also have a client format Google style.
I don't remember if Google style guide includes formatting stuff.
But there's like client format has literally a Google style.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. So essentially, we could say our formatting spec is our client format config file,
Yes.
right? That would be accurate. That's right. Okay. Well, if you have feedback, reach out to me.
How likely that you can close the gap between the current style and the client format?
The only thing that I know of that the only pattern that I know of that doesn't adhere to the format right now is the 4 spaces versus 2 spaces indent for arguments and parameters. So we indent 4 spaces for arguments and parameters and 2 spaces for every other continuation. Last time I checked, client format didn't have a different option for different types of continuation line wraps, but maybe they've added it since then.
What version was that? Is that 5 you looked at or 6?
I looked at 3.8.
So that's 3.
3.8, yeah. I mean, so Clang changed their versioning scheme, so they kind of jumped to 5 really quickly. But it was like 3.7, 3.8, 3.9, 4, 5, that kind of thing. So rather than minor versions, they kind of went to major versions.
Let's say if they didn't fix that, how do we do?
I think I would recommend that we.
I think like we should be open to change the style guide. Like,
Yeah.
if we think
It would
that
be okay to change the style.
it's not enforceable using the current version of Clang. I mean, I think that 2 space versus space is pretty subjective anyway. So if we feel that enforceable is more important, then we can change the style guide.
Didn't that come from Google? What is Google doing?
It's Google style.
The 2 versus 4 thing?
It might not.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, since you said you only had 2 things on the agenda, can we also use this time to talk about compilers in general, version numbers in general?
Oh, yeah.
Versions in general? Since I think it's super related, if we wanted to use like Clang 5 style, for example, that would be obviously requiring a different version of Clang. Do you have the
You want
old?
to get into that now, or?
Sure.
Okay.
Can I Slack you the spreadsheet, the old original spreadsheet, and we can talk about it real quick?
Oh, sure.
Okay, Slack.
The Clang format 5.0 is tied to the Clang version 5.0, I guess.
Sorry.
The Clang format version 5.0 is tied to Clang?
That's a good question. And part, can we use in like a more recent version of Clang format? And like how easy is it pretty much just bundled as a tool with that version of Clang?
No. There are different packages for specific to Clang format, and so you don't have to like install Clang 5 just to get Clang format 5.
Okay.
So this spreadsheet here.
So this was when we did the last compiler bump.
Yeah.
And that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I think it's high time we could do a new compiler bump. This was compiled 3/31, 2015.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't.
So at the time, 4.9 was looking pretty good, except for a bunch of Ubuntu EOLs and Debian stable.
What are the ones missing here? Is it?
The ones
Wait. So this is the label. Okay. So these look fine,
Yeah, so CentOS looks fine.
and then I see. So it's these ones here. That I'm missing.
CentOS looks fine. Rail looks fine. Ubuntu was the old EOLs was missing, but I don't know if that's changed or if we care.
Right.
I mean, 13 is pretty old. 12 is pretty old.
Yeah, we run them in the CI even. We start with, I think we do 16 in the CI.
I thought we do 14.
14.
No, we
Yeah.
did 14 in the CI.
14.
14 and 16?
I remember I was talking about 12 actually.
No, not in the CI for sure.
In our CI, we do that.
Oh, internal CI. Okay.
So Debian, I don't know about Debian. I don't know if that's changed since 2015. If they're stable, no longer supports it.
So this tick here. This tick here means.
It means that you get it through the Ubuntu toolchain, but it's possible. An asterisk means it's dev toolset.
Huh, interesting. So we could get it for 1204, but not for 13.
Yeah, I'm guessing that they made it work for their long-term stable or long-term supported.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know what the S means in LTS. Long-term supported or long-term stable supported?
Yeah. So the part that I find difficult about this is that we don't actually know what the requirements are, and who the requirements come from.
In terms of the versions?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we need to send an email out to the dev list and say, here's a proposal based on, we should probably update this spreadsheet based on like our experience that we've learned. Is anyone going to freak out if we move to a compiler that?
Like what's the current motivation to move the compiler? I didn't get it. What are the features we are looking for?
We can get C++ 14.
Well, C++ 14 if we go to 5.
Oh, I thought it was if we go to 4.9.
4.9 will give us regex. But we would have to go to CGC 5 for 14.
Okay, so it probably makes sense to redo this entire spreadsheet then just for 5.
So, well, I don't know. If we want to go to 5, then yes. Because the original email was, can we move to 4.9 to get regex? And then Neil's follow-up was, can we just go to 5? And then we kind of stopped talking about it. But I guess the steps we need to take are to fill out the spreadsheet. But again, like even with the spreadsheet, it's not clear to us whether like, well, 13 is pretty old, like 12 is pretty old. Right?
I think what we do is we create the spreadsheet and then we send the email out of the mailing list.
Say, asking like, is this acceptable to
We
everyone?
did this, this is the work we did to help make your life easier. Because some people, they might be on a version but not know that that there's a way to actually get GCC 5 to work on that version. And so we're just helping them by doing that work.
Do we have users who, do we know of any users who build their own? I think we used to have users that build their own.
I'm sure there's users out there that build their own, yeah, definitely.
Right.
Yeah, aren't there some folks deploying off master.
Yeah,
Thanks.
some companies that do it off master.
We are experimenting some internal features that user rejects, but we ensure our build environment is 4.9 plus. This is Zhitao from Uber.
Hey, Jita.
4.1 plus. Okay.
So if we went to 5, would that be possible in your environment? Just curious.
I'm not aware. I can check and give you an answer tomorrow.
Wait, what OS do you run? Which version?
We deployed Trusty and Jesse at the same time, but I need to confirm whether. But because there are other development in the company, there may be a chance somebody already get GCC 5 into our environment. So I need to check.
Okay.
Trusty is 16.
Trustee is 14. Yeah, 14 you can get 5.
Mhm.
Through PTA. you can get.
Hey,
Hey, and hello.
hey, sorry I'm late. It sounds like this is the conversation following what Jacob has asked on the dev list.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so sorry, so we haven't been able to get back to do the survey, but I guess we're now doing it collectively in this meeting, which I think is good. So GCC 5 totally works with us.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Great.
Does anyone wanna doing the sort of the spreadsheet?
I can do it next week.
This meeting ends early. I will put all the time left in this meeting working on it. Anyone who wants to work with me.
I can do it next week.
Sweet.
Uh,
The plus expert who wants.
I want 0 source 15, yes. Okay, all right, so yeah, well, maybe Ben, you and I can try to push this through.
Great.
We'll do a survey for GCC 5 on various platforms.
Awesome.
Yeah, I will get back.
So GCC 5 and Clang 5?
Client 3.5 has C++ 14, so
Oh, Client 3.5.
we don't have to do anything on the client side.
Okay. Already has buggy support for C++ 14.
Sorry, what?
Non-buggy C++.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, Client 3.5 was a pretty great compiler. It's like pretty old, but still does pretty well. Okay, there was one more thing on the agenda. Resurrecting community Kanban board.
Yeah. And you want me to chat about it, or you want to chat about it?
How about you? You want to actually like shift the Kanban page or?
Yeah, I'll bring it up and maybe you can start.
Okay, so I guess I'll start. So we're having a conversation with some folks. I think one of the things we're trying to constantly do in the community is be better about being accountable to one another when someone asks for a shepherd or is trying to get reviews done. And it's super hard, right? Everyone's super busy. And it's just a non-trivial thing to make sure that great job of when people in various parts of the community are asking for reviews or for things that get shepherd to always get that done. And every single open source project that I know of has this issue. So it's not like a specific thing. So we were chatting about some ways we could maybe make it better, and we were recognizing that some folks over at Apple and some folks in Mesos were chatting. We're recognizing that one of the things that companies often do to help have better accountability for this stuff is to use tools or to use Scrum or Kanban or something else. And so the idea is that we'll actually use a short part of this meeting, which is every 2 weeks, and the Kanban board, and we'll just make it much more explicit when someone is offering to shepherd something for somebody else. we'll drag it into the Kanban board and just make it super explicit. Like, yeah, I'm going to do this for you, and I'm going to help you review this. And it's our opportunity to be really explicit to other people and say, no, actually, I'm not going to have time to help you with this, and it's okay. I'd rather set expectations appropriately with people and be upfront about it. Or it's just a good way to like get it on the Kanban board and say, yeah, I'm going to do this, and then if 2 weeks later when we come back and look at the Kanban board, nobody made progress, to just say, hey, yeah, I'm sorry, I can, and actually I can't be your shepherd, and or yeah, sorry, this is as far as we got, or everything's okay, we're making progress, whatever it is. So that's the idea. That's the thought, is use the open source Kanban board that we have on Apache Jira to track all the tickets, and then use a little bit of this meeting to kind of run a mini check-in, not like a full scrum or anything, just a mini check-in.
Wait, all the tickets?
No, the stuff that people are committing to within the community for like shepherd. So like if somebody asks UG to shepherd something, you could use this meeting. We kind of do it like sprints, in the sense that, you could do it out of band if you wanted to, but this would be a good time in the meeting for somebody to say, hey, I'd love to work on X, Y, Z, and Greg Rand could be like, yeah, I'm totally happy to shepherd you on that thing. And then like we make, print blood, and we make like a blood signature by putting it in the Kanban board. So it's official.
I see.
It's just a good way to track it. I think it's.
So the filter is going to be any contributors' tickets assigned to a contributor that shepherd by some.
The filter is going to be anything with a shepherd, and a assignment.
Shepherd and assignment.
That's either accepted or in progress. So it'll have everything. It'll even just have things within the same. If two people within the same company are working on something, so Ian and somebody within the same company at Apple are working on something, then it'll show up as well. So it'll be everything, but it'll also just be a place for people across organizations throughout the community to be able to comment.
That's interesting. Actually, like the containerization is part of the work. I use a spreadsheet to track that.
It's doing Kanban.
Okay. Yeah, maybe like a filter on that with like some special label.
Yeah, I think right now, can we change the focus to my screen?
We can present to everyone.
I don't see that option.
Oh, wait, you mean,
Oh, yeah, it's under computer.
yes.
Yeah, I guess that's because it's YouTube and it's on air.
I'm seeing it.
What's that?
I'm seeing your screen, so that's good.
Yeah. So I guess right now we have the swim lanes in this Kanban board are based on epics. Do we want to do something other than epics, or is epics like a good way to go about this stuff? Like, do you want to do it via? We can do via components, for example, since we're trying to do it like work group specific. One thing we were thinking about before was tying work groups to components. So we can have swim lanes be based on components. And then like each swim lane is for a working group. And we can track that way.
Yeah, that would be useful.
Okay, we can change that. I can work on.
So we need to clean up the labels to make sure. Sorry, components.
Yeah, I started doing that.
Okay.
Like 50% of the way there.
Okay.
And I'll finish that.
I mean, components on Jira?
Yeah.
You have components on Jira?
We do, but it's not like properly groomed. There are some conflicting components, and components don't have leads, and there's some components that should ideally be labels. So we started breaking that down a couple of weeks ago. So once I finish that, we can start this. So hopefully, action item for me is to get that done by next community meeting, the dev meeting. We'll have the components ready, and I'll change the Kanban board to actually do swim lanes by components.
So, what I'm feeling is, so the epic concept is already like pretty formally used in our workflow. So you would almost always either have either you have issues that basically just don't belong to any epics, or you have them already grouped under the epics. You don't have these like should have been epics, but not. So you don't have that situation. But rather, in terms of the components, I think we're still things are not refined that way, so that you may end up having lots of issues which are not correctly categorized. So right now on this list, there are I would say probably less than 15 Shiras, less than 15 epics. I think that's still manageable. One thing would probably better changes. So the issues without epics are at the bottom. I think it would be nice if they're at the top, because these are probably the ones which are easy to be forgotten, regardless of whether you use component or not. Other than that, I think it's not too bad. I mean, there are like 10 epics. Just me thinking it could be easy.
Yeah, I guess so. The thing I was thinking about doing with components is I'm hoping once our groups become active, they will be updating that part of the swim lane during their work group meetings, and this meeting will probably be just like a syncing point. That way, if it's done with epics, then they have to kind of scroll through where all their epics are and stuff like that. That is just my.
And something's going to be miscellaneous. It might not land exactly in our working group. We should capture those ones as well.
Yeah, those would be like again issues with that work component or something. It will land up there. I mean, either way, yeah.
So that sense like components, because like a working group might touch multiple components. How do you understand?
Yeah, you would have multiple components.
I see. So basically, it would go through every component.
All the component. I mean, hopefully the component shouldn't.
Like I wish like there's.
And we can also use labels.
Yeah, labels. Maybe.
But we have other things like tests. Flaky test as a label, which is not like it's not any working group.
Special interest group.
Yeah. So the component should, maybe we can use components as working groups, not like actual physical components in the code base. Like maybe components are actually working groups.
Components to working groups.
Yeah, or maybe you could say working group can.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, like components like working groups. Components, you touch which components. I think it's still valuable to have components there. Maybe using label is fine, like using label to say, hey, this is for this special interest group, this working group, things like that.
Yeah, I think only difference with labels is that one ticket could have multiple labels. And it's not clear how it's going to show up here. There are multiple labels for a ticket.
Oh, I see.
We'll take a look at that.
It should be part of at most one. I mean, it should not be part of two working groups.
Yeah, and if we have a special label called working group, that's something. I don't know how we can only show those here. Maybe there's some Jira filter we can use, but yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like using epics for too much. For example, containerization for how like 20 epics.
Yeah.
It's kind of tedious to go through every single item in this meeting.
Yeah, we can try that. Try to clean that up a bit for the next meeting.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks, and then see what we can do there.
Sounds good.
Cool. Anything else you want to chat about? Anything else anyone wants to chat about? No? All good?
Anybody remote? Anything? Nothing for me?
Yeah, all good.
Sounds good.
Cool. I guess we can end early then. Cool. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining.
All right, spreadsheet time.
Bye.
5 more minutes. Ember, so the 4 and 2 thing is totally from Google. It's not like